Hi, I work for diversity and inclusion for Skillible. Skillible is an upskilling platform that trains people in the technology landscape. I am Poorna Kaul and I will be your host for this talk show. Today we are hosting Mrs. Anushree Srivastava.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. We will be talking about our topic, Women on Career Break. Anushree Srivastava has been a global strategic leader in the digital landscape and monetization. She has built a revenue portfolio of more than 100 crores. She has acumen in partnership and alliances, governance, market strategy, railways, fintech, startup, and branding. She has won more than 18 awards, naming a few: Women in Leadership Award, National E-Governance Award. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Poorna, for having me here. I'm really excited for all the women folks and, of course, sharing my personal journey. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anushree, why do women go on sabbaticals or career break?
Look, I think women always take the first move. They believe in equality. They are one of the undermined sex, sadly to say, about the Indian society, and they are always a source. They have infinite energies, they have infinite means to look into situations both at workspace and personal space. But off and on, they need to recoup those energies, and that could be done if they are able to take a sabbatical. It could be from the workforce and then looking after their family, looking after the near and dear ones. COVID has given us one such big use case that yes, family comes first, health comes first, and then the rest follow. So I think going on sabbatical is just to create a cognitive environment for her to resume and deliver the services in the same fervor.
When I talk about women on career breaks or wherever I read this in the newspaper, I find a lot of potholes in that particular system. Have you also noticed that, or is just that few people in the society think like that?
Look, I think women can't always please all the time and all the people. Yeah. They need to know that what is their purpose in life. Let's say you ask for some kind of help from a woman or a lady, and she always comes back to you. She keeps providing, but then she keeps going on, and people ask for more, and she really doesn't know when to stop. She needs to know that this is what I really want to be in. If I want to only give in my personal space, not work, for example, then what is it that's really giving me happiness and fulfillment? So that's very important, to discover herself or rediscover herself, I would say. And there are going to be people, certainly, if I leave my home, my children get disappointed at times, my husband get disappointed at times, my mother may get disappointed at times, but it's okay. You can't please people all the while, as I said, right? And for me, creating your own intention is very important. Like, I used to feel very powerful when I used to step out of my house and keep working, be it my government, be it my startup, or wherever I'm consulting or advising. It gives me a sense of power, it gives me a sense of recognition, it gives me a sense of purpose, what I'm really meant for, right? Systems, yeah, it's a very generic word. So there is a system in your house, there is a system in your office, there is a system when you're driving, there's a system everywhere, right? So you need to take care of the system the way system takes care of you. It's both intrinsic and extrinsic. And it is definitely going to have an impact on you as a working professional or a mother or a working mother or a housewife and so on and so forth. So you need to really plan yourself, be actionable. I always have a diary next to me. Wherever I go, I pen down the points, be it something I need to do for my daughter, if I need to do my workspace, I pen it down so that I can achieve it. So the more you write your goals, write your vision, where you want to be, like I have a lot of such advice which I'll also share in the due course of our conversation. So I feel you need to deal with your system, you need to be a little more conscious, have a conscious mind, even if some things go wrong, which they are bound to. Look back, sit back, relax, and then think it over and have a solution to it.
True that. Sometimes in life I am very spontaneous, but I think planning is very important. I will also start scribbling it down in my diary, and whenever I have to plan a certain task, I'll also do it in that particular way. It's very helpful.
Yeah, but I would advise that do it as a regular regime, have a date written to it, have your client data written to it, keep following it up on the next subsequent day, because of course there are software, there are tools available, but your diary is your own tool, right? That's the best tool which you can always refer to.
Yeah. Coming back to the topic again, what are the major reasons that women go on sabbaticals or career break?
Look, I'll just share one of my personal experience. So after my startup, there are things not very going well, and I just approached a few friends and family for new work, and they said, look, Anushree, you've already worked 18 years or what, 17 years. Why aren't you going for a sabbatical? I'm like, maybe. So people think going on sabbatical is just sitting back, relaxing and not doing anything. But I took that advice and I said, look, I need to find some new work profile for myself. I'll do it, right? So I was again all the more empowered to do it. I started giving out shout outs in my professional network, LinkedIn, wherever, and there you go. I was in a digital marketing space. So look, anything and everything is possible for a woman. Taking career breaks, I think both men and women first need to understand being in power is important. It is being noticed. How do you acquire power? What is the gravity of the power? You should believe that yes, power is possible for you as a person. And I totally believe that, right? I rose to a very senior position in the government and yet performing very well for the organization and having so many accolades to myself. So believe in yourself, believe in the work that you do. It could be a small work which would have a huge impact on the public or the society or different businesses, right? And I think women should go on career breaks because they should rediscover themselves, rediscover their energies, new forms, and what they really need to do in their workspace and of course their personal space as well.
I think if more and more companies will have better paternity and maternity leaves, more caregiving environment, more environment in which a woman feels more comfortable, she has that nurturing environment, she comes back to office and she knows that, you know, the company will also take care of her family and especially her kids.
Surely. So I totally affirm that if an environment at work is cognitive, it's supportive. Let's say you've actually taken a maternity leave and people will ask you, how did it go? How is your child now? Do you have any household help? Do you have your parents and friends and family to take care while you're away? So it helps, right? So I'll just give you an example. The moment you sow a seed, right, you know that the soil has to be the right kind of watering environment. The sunlight has to be adequate. So everything should be as good as the nurturing environment for a seed to grow up to a plant. Likewise for a woman, when she's working, she needs to have the right environment around her.
True that.
It could be a supportive boss. It could be a good colleague at office and just sharing some good healthy notes about work or family, right? So I think it is very, very important to have that atmosphere. And yes, there are a lot of inculcated policies which needs to be brought in by the HR. It could be, for example, like one of my friends is a POSH consultant, so Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act at Workplace, how colleagues need to talk to women, how they can be assertive to women, both physically and through verbal communication. What is a strict no-no in verbal communication? What could be still in adherence to the communication in writing as well, right? It could be the other day somebody was sharing one guy gave a notice to VP HR like, no women folks with 10 years or below children to be hired.
Oh.
Like this is prohibitive. How can you talk like that? How can you give such an example of hiring, right? So it's very important to have these kind of rules in place in your organization. What is maternity? I think you were like, Poorna, you were asking a few in this conversation also. So it's an act, it's a regulated act by the government to regulate the employment of a woman pre-delivery of the child and post-delivery of the child to take care of the health benefits of the child, the infant, and the mother as well. So this is actually a norm which has been set up by the government and it should actually be inculcated by most of the organizations. Now, it's quite oblivious that government or organizations, both private, know about it. They've not inculcated in their rule books. So they need citations, they need where it has been implemented, why should a childcare leave be paid leave or should not be paid leave, give us all the process and procedures, and so on and so forth. So it's actually up to a woman, I would say, to inculcate this. I've actually
if it's not in her office, then she needs to work for that.
Personal journey, and I've kind of did that for my organization. And till date, I just earned the goodwill from all those women employees that, ma'am, I can avail of a leave when my child is not there. Thanks to you. Thanks so much to you.
Yeah.
So I feel you can build a journey for yourself and the people to aid you in that journey as well.
I believe there are a lot of companies also that are coming up with short-term courses or how to get back women to workplace. And if she wants to get back to the workplace, there are a lot of courses and there's a lot of facilities that are starting down. But there's a long way to go and we have a lot that needs to be done.
Yeah, so I've heard of, as I said, a lot of government norms or norms which have to be inculcated in an organization. both in terms of the women health, mental health, their regime. Is your HR having such regime on a regular basis? Are an activities happening across your organization? Do you counsel both men and women employees? I talked about the POSH Act.
Yeah.
Is it inculcated in your organization? Are you looking into all these aspects? Is there a creche facility for infants at your workplace? Is there work from home option both for men and women? Because
That's very important.
I feel men also equally need to understand how is it to run the house when women are working from home. Why could government not give this as a mandate? Like, look, every government employee has to have 7 days of, at least 7 days in a month as work from home for the men employees. Because women have this dual task, right? To take care of their houses, to take care of their workforce, and to be overall responsible for the lives of their family. So that's where these kind of policy changes need to bring in. People need to voice this opinion to their organization. Like, look, we need this. And the moment you start giving it to women employees, I'm telling you guys, your company will deliver much, much more beyond what you've actually envisaged, right? Because they're fulfilled, they're happy, they're seeing their kids and they're working as well, right? So, women are more emotionally, having a emotional human being, I would say, so they're more attached to their families, both in workspace as well, by the way.
We've talked enough about what are the reasons, why do women go on career breaks. Suppose a woman has to get back to the workplace. You, in fact, took a career break when you had a child. How is an aftermath when a woman goes back to the workplace? How has your experience being, after you went to the office, how was it for you?
Yeah, it was a few decades ago, I would say. But yes, some people were really empowering. They asked me about my child, how it went through, and how is it he or she being taken care of once you're back. Yeah, but of course, my department and my government profile in the work was actually diminishing. Not very many people were empowered to take care of that work because in government, there usually the people are scanty. We are like already overworked. So it was actually my responsibility as well, which I think I lacked because I was busy taking care of my child. So whenever a woman takes a leave, maternity leave, the organization also has to look into it that her work is being looked into. Whatever hard work or the product she's built is actually alive and still working in the same health and same fashion and function. So that's one piece of advice. And the rest, I think, is all, again, as I said, people are there to talk about good and bad things. People may assume that you've had a good time 9 months looking after an infant, but let me tell you, women folks and men folks, it's not the case. The world goes topsy-turvy, both in terms of your physical self and your mental self, because there are a lot of hormonal changes. You need to breastfeed your child, you need to take care of him, you need to take care of your food and everything of the entire family as well. You need to definitely have a support at home, and you need to also recoup your energies because you're going to get back to work. How is it going to be? So you need to plan that 9 months journey again. Have somebody really guiding you. Have your mother or mother-in-law mentoring you. What could be the best for your child in terms of health, vaccination, and so on and so forth.
There are a lot of people coming out and saying they've not had a supportive environment in office. I believe that's the first thing. We should have a supportive environment in office. Do you have any more advices other than having a supportive environment in office? Especially when I talk women who are getting back to the workplace.
So I have built and navigated my path to success, dear Poorna. So I would give the same advice to all women folks. Environment is never supportive. You have to create that environment, right? You have to be outspoken and self-expressed. Like personally, I always do some kind of leadership and skill development course every 3 years.
Okay.
Because I know that because thanks to COVID, nothing is complete in this environment. You may be so and so having such degree, but what if these jobs are lost? These jobs are no more, right? AI is coming in. A lot of things of physical substitution are happening through artificial intelligence. Chatbots are there. So let's say a calling industry, BPO industry is coming down because they're automated chatting systems, right? Software which are responding to your request in the call center. So there's so much of technology which is happening, fintech, right? So be it banking, be it transaction management. So a lot of things which are done earlier manually, now it is being in the online space. So you need to read about it. You need to unlearn things and learn new things, because if you are there to stay in the industry, you have to have a upskilling of yourself.
Upskilling is very important.
Yeah, sure, it is.
Other than that, if I have to talk about any other specific guidelines or something a woman should do when she has come out of that career break?
As I said, learning and unlearning is primarily important, but having a mentor in your life and having a guide in your life who necessarily is not your friend and family, who does not know you, but who knows you professionally, who understands your capabilities, who can actually reform you to a new person, new space. I think that's a must. I definitely have a lot of mentors in my life. I always look up to them. I take their guidance in whichever areas of work I'm doing in. What could be new for me in terms of innovation that I deliver. So I always have a mentor, and I would advise management folks also to have one in their life. And that apart, I also feel a mental wellness program or regime is a must. So have something which really calms you down, brings down your stress in your day-to-day life. Do something which really makes you happy. If, for me, dancing makes me happy. I do at least once a week Zumba or something else, a Bollywood Bhangra once a week, because it really elates me. So having a happy and fulfilled life, irrespective of whichever domain of work you're in or whichever monetary status of life you're in, it's very, very important.
Yeah, I would definitely take notes. We've had several conversations, and I have personally noted down a few things. I am going to practice affirmations, like you mentioned in a few conversations back. I am going to send thank you notes to people because you said that you do, and I think that's a great thing. That's a great thing to motivate people. And yes, I will definitely create an environment, and I am in that process of creating an environment for women, especially in that workplace, that they feel comfortable. And if I am there making people out there comfortable, I think it will definitely get back to me also when I need that most. And on ending these conversations, I think I have personally been very empowered after this conversation, and I definitely look up to you.
One piece of advice I would say, you know, life is like a mirror. Whatever you want to see in others is what you are also inside, right? Let's say if you're powerful, you want to see that same power in others. If you see that you're encouraged, you have to encourage others as well, right? So it's like if you want to create ripples in those waters which you really want to stir, right? It's as simple as that. Do affirmations every day in the morning, send thank you, or just call up your friend and say thank you, or random person, thanks so much for this help, you know. If somebody gives you a connect out of the blue and you really realize this connect has really worked for me, you should go out of the way to thank him, you know, just have a coffee with him or something, right? It could be a very small menial thing, but making others happy as well and fulfilled makes you happy in turn, right? And that's what all life is all about.
Thank you so much, Anushree. I think I'm going to take all the notes and I'm going to practice that also.
Thank you so much, Poorna, and lovely being here and sharing all my personal professional journey with women folks like you. Thank you so much. Hey Poorna, I forgot, you were professing about this platform. What is this about?
Yeah, so Skillible is an upskilling platform, and we have a specific course, Salesforce course, in which women who are there on career break or women who wish to join back to the workforce, especially in the technology sphere, we have a specific program for women out there. And yeah.
Wow, that's great, that's great. So I will say advise, be on technology, whatever you can, because technology is here to stay. And thanks to COVID, every company is subsisting on technology today. So if you have such courses available, there you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Poorna. Lovely being here. Thanks so much.